First thing on the agenda, Brian Elsasser's on the phone, and I'd like a motion to let him do it. Steve, second. Sharon, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion for that? Phil, second. Steve? Okay, do we have any corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, all in favor as they're written, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion against, same. Okay, passed unanimously. We'll move on to informational items. We don't have an ETSB report. David wasn't able to be here today due to another conflict. Nate, or Kristen, would you do the Public Defender's report, please?
Is this on? Okay, no, it is on. Okay, good. I don't have an actual report from Nate. He is working on a detailed, comprehensive end-of-year report to submit in January for the January meeting. I did want to let you know that we have 2 new full-time public defenders. One started yesterday, and the other one starts next week. So we're encouraged by that, and that's about all I've got for this month. Unless you've got any questions?
Any questions? So how many more public defenders do we need to have to be fully staffed?
Well, currently we're overstaffed for the space that we have. So we're looking for space for the temporary space for the new one that starts on Monday. But we're at 5 full-time public defenders once the new one starts on 12/5. As far as how many more we need, I mean, we're still looking to hire probably 2 or 3 more full-time as far as I know. But we really need to wait till we get into our new space downstairs so we can have room for them. So.
They don't want to be out in the hall?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick update for this committee on that space. The bid package for remodeling the former recorder of deeds space that will become the public defender space went out on the street today. That'll go through the infrastructure committee for bid award when those bids come back.
And then how long do they think it'll be before they'll be able?
Construction cycle from notice to proceed after the county board awards the bid is probably going to be, I think, 4 to 6 months probably in construction time.
Okay, so by this time next year they should.
I would say mid-year we should be.
Here, okay,
We should be good.
sounds great. Okay, next we have Illinois DCEO funding for body-worn camera and in-car cameras, joint venture with the Peoria City Police Department. Sheriff, welcome.
Hello. So I just want to kind of lay the groundwork on our joint venture with the DCEO and Peoria Police Department. We were approached a couple months ago about funding that's come down through the DCEO for body cameras and in-car cameras. This is the first type of funding we've ever seen for body cameras. It was kind of a unfunded mandate, so now we're actually seeing funding for it, which is really good to see. They're giving us $434,000 for these body cameras. It is a large contract. The state's attorney just also went in with Axon. That's who we're looking at. Peoria PD, they just took theirs to city council last month and it passed unanimously. So obviously their contract's a lot bigger than the contract we're looking at for the deputies. But this contract includes, it's a 5-year contract. It includes all new body cameras, GPS. Our in-car units are all GPS. They're license plate readers. This is the top of the line equipment for our officers, and it's great to see the funding actually come down to help us do this. Right now we're in contract with VView for our body cameras. Well, they've been bought out last year by Axon, and they now are not supported. So we've kind of had a little bit of a nightmare for last year. We're limping our body-worn cameras along right now. So East Peoria PD, they just went with Axon, and like I said, this integrates with the state's attorney's office and Peoria PD. So top-of-line equipment. My plan is next month to actually have the quote and put this in front of you as committee to actually present and vote on. Right now, this is just informational. I will forward you guys all the information, but if you guys just, any questions on that right now?
Any questions for the sheriff? Steve?
I assume just procedurally, we'll have a budget amendment to show the expenditure and the funds coming in from DCEO. Is that kind of how the plan will be?
From what I know, yes.
No, that's great. It's nice to have some mandates that are funded. I don't know if those two words go together, mandates and funded.
It's not 100% funded. This will cover
partially.
probably 35 to 40% of the cost. We're trying to tweak the quote right now, but it's still we're going to be in this position 8 months from now. I'll be coming to you with if we didn't jump on this opportunity, we'd be funding it 100%. So this will cover 35 to 40% of it, and it's a 5-year contract where they spread out the cost. So it's still costly, but it's a mandate we have to have.
Sheriff, how long does the cameras in the car and the body cameras, how long do they usually typically last before you have to replace them?
Right now, 4 years ago, we went into VView, and those lasted about 2.5, 3 years, and we had to force VView to send new ones, and they found them in their basement somewhere because they quit producing them after Axon bought them out. So these are supposed to last a lot longer. There is a refresh in the contract, so we'll get new ones after a certain amount of time, which is good. Our in-car cameras, we're using a different company right now. They are giving us some outdated firmware. Our server we're having problems with that. This is all cloud-based, which is unlimited cloud-based, which everyone's going to, and it's been tested. It's secure. Most police departments in the U.S. now are transitioning to Axon. They're just kind of the name, and we have a state contract bid with them already, so we don't have to jump through the RFP process with them, which is great too.
So basically, every few years, they had to either be refreshed or bought new because the technology and the
Yeah. So if this is a 5-year, I think it's a 5-year contract, we won't have to worry about buying any body cameras for 5 years. They will give us new ones in the middle of the contract. So if we did a smaller contract, we'd have to go back out for bid. But right now, it's nice to do a longer contract because the refresh is built into the contract. I think after year 3, if I read right, we'll get new ones. So, but there's a lot of technology with this. I mean, with body cameras these days, right now we have to manually turning on. And there's a lot of human error with that, right? If an emergency happens and you can't turn it on, you're too focused on the situation. This technology, if you pull your gun out of the holster, it will automatically activate your body camera. If you turn your lights on, we can have it automatically. It just eliminates that human error factor. And usually those are very stressful situations, the ones that you want to make sure you have on camera. And there's redaction software that helps because everything right now is getting FOIA'd by us. And right now our system it's very labor intensive. It takes somebody to do that. Axon, they just have a great software, and that's why everybody's going to them. That's why Peoria PD, all the law enforcement agencies around here are going with them.
sounds like we're moving in the right direction then. So, any other questions, Rob?
Is there anything proprietary, like the files that we get from that information? Is there anything that would stop us or that would cost more money conversion in 5 years if we move to a different vendor?
No, I mean technically we can move to a different vendor now. It would just be a transition. It's just when you have your state's attorney doing evidence.com now, I mean all that integrates and it makes their life a lot easier. There's other brands out there, but from what we're seeing, this is I mean it's nice to provide our officers top of line equipment that's funded.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Okay, moving on to resolutions. The first one's the Village of Glassford Dispatch Service Agreement. Can I have a motion to put that on the floor? Rob, second. Steve? Okay, Sheriff, you taking this one?
Yes. So the first one is the Glassford Dispatch Service Agreement. This has been in effect for a very long time. This is a small contract. This just allows them to use our dispatch and leads and CAD center. This is not a police service. We're not giving them police services. We're just allowing them to use our dispatch and system.
Any questions for the sheriff on this one? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, passed unanimously. Okay, the second one's the City of West Peoria Police Service Agreement. Sheriff? Oh, sorry. Motion put on the floor. Phil? Steve, you got the second one? Okay, Sheriff?
So for the West Peoria contract, it's a 5-year contract. If you guys remember, we did a cost study at the beginning of 2022 to kind of be more consistent on our police contracts. Right now, I'm negotiating 8 different police service contracts. This is our biggest one. They have now requested to go 24/7 coverage, which we strongly advise them to do because of the calls of service are so they keep increasing in West Peoria. So we have a great relationship with them. So that we use the cost study. I am stair-stepping them up to 90%, so I'm not charging them 100% just for the fact that our cars do get pulled out from time to time. But it's still a significant increase for them. I think it's almost right off the bat $200,000 more a year increase. But we have a great relationship, and they want to keep our relationship, and now they will have a squad car up there 24/7, which they need.
Okay, it also says in here you're going to have a couple 2 commissioned bicycle patrol officers. What months will they be working, and how many hours for
So
them?
we bill them as kind of a pay as you go. So if it's summer months, Memorial Day to Labor Day, or actually Memorial Day to October to Halloween. But if the last couple of years, it's been tough to even fill the hours that they budgeted for because of our staffing. But now we see that that's doing a lot better. But yeah, if our guys only bike 20 hours a month, that's all we bill them for. So, and if we don't have to pay back if we don't fill those hours. It's just agreement with us and a couple of these communities that like bike patrol that we'll bill them for what we do.
Okay. Any questions on this one? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed,
Aye.
same size. Okay, motion carried unanimously. The third one's the Village of Hannah City Police Service Agreement. Can I have a motion to put that on the floor? Rob, second. Phil, thank you. Sheriff?
So Hannah City, we're also doing a 5-year contract. They are not changing their hours. We do random patrol in Hannah City throughout the day and night. So that's staying the same. Just negotiated a 5-year contract with them. The cost study, we're not providing them a full-time officer, so it's different than a West Peoria where we're hiring officers, we're hiring overtime to fill those contracts. Hannah City is ones that we can actually fulfill during our normal hours, where an officer will go out there for an hour and patrol. So it's a little bit different than the cost study. So we just increased theirs by 3% every year.
Okay, any questions on this, for the sheriff on this one? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. And last but not least, we've got the Village of Dunlap Police Service Agreement. Can I have a motion to put that on the floor? Rob, Steve, second. Okay, Sheriff?
So Dunlap is the same as Hannah City, where they just contract us with a couple random hours a day. That's a 5-year contract also. So same setup as Hannah City, not as many hours as Hannah City, just a couple hours a day with Dunlap to show police presence up in the village.
Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank
Okay, we're down to miscellaneous. Does Sharon?
Hi, Sheriff. I just had a question, and we haven't talked about this in quite some time, but I was wondering how the expungements are going.
So yeah, we our records division, we lost a couple. So we're trying to train our new ones to do expungement. Our main expungement just left about a month ago to leave out of state. So that kind of hurt us a little bit. But we actually have somebody that has filled that role that's doing a very good job. But yeah, that's an ongoing situation that we're dealing with. But we're working with some of the attorneys that call us. There's a couple of programs out there that are working with people to get expungements done. We're trying to get them done first. We're trying to get the front end of expungements done to where when someone searches somebody, that offense isn't going. That's a lot easier compared to the back end of taking off their criminal history than leads. That's very time consuming. So we're trying to do our best, but yeah, it's a work in progress.
Is there a certain time you had to have that done by?
Yes, there's statutes on that. So we're meeting it barely from what I've been told.
Any other questions for the sheriff on that? Okay. Any other miscellaneous? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.